Hey everybody, this is Brian, Rachel, and Ellie Goulet of the Goulet Pen Company and inkniveau.com here for a Right Time at 9 broadcast. Today is March 14th, 2012, and we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We skipped last week. We just didn't have the energy, and this week we do because we're making some nighttime coffee here, so thank goodness for that. Oh, here's my chat. Okay, good. We got a whole bunch of stuff to cover, so we'll kind of plow through. Oh gosh, I gotta get all my goodies. Do you want to go ahead and just start talking
Sure.
while I get all the stuff out?
Let me pull up our topics. I need to see what goodies you brought because I'm not sure what we need for the various reveals. But as Brian said, we were just couldn't handle it last week, just with everything going on. It's I was trying to remember. I was like, well, we've been doing this for a while. How did we do it when Joseph was born? I was like, well, wait, we didn't start until Joseph was like 3 months old, which is about this age. You're doing it during the day. You were doing it by yourself. I wasn't involved, and we weren't nearly as busy with the business as we are now. We were working out of our home, and we weren't nearly exhausted at the end of the day like we are now. So
Basically, everything was different.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that's how we did it before.
We weren't commuting to work at that point.
Yep. And we didn't have a toddler and a newborn and employees and just a lot busier. Do you want to talk about that first and kind of go out of order a little bit?
I guess we can talk about that because that's I kind of said on the post today announcing the topics for tonight's broadcast that we're going to be taking a hiatus for 1 month that we suppose. We don't know the exact date. Basically, what we need to have happen is for Right Time to be able to continue on any kind of regular basis. We need Ellie to be going to bed permanently, like for the night before the broadcast starts. And she's not at that point yet. She's still doing a nighttime feeding after the broadcast. So we're having to precision time her feedings to be both before and after the broadcast, and hope that she's not upset in between. Not only because her crying kind of interrupts the broadcast, which I know a lot of you said you don't mind, but it's very stressful for us to have to coordinate that, to have to worry about tending to her and talking and trying to come up with a concise broadcast with all that going on. It's just it's at the end of the day, we just don't have the energy. You can imagine what it's like to be new parents anyway. We're already exhausted by the end of the day, and then to have to do all that is really a lot for us. But really, what was kind of that we had been thinking about doing a hiatus for a little while, but what the final nail in the coffin was, we just found out that a new office space that we had been looking at in our building has come available. And we have kind of an opportunity to continue our lease under our current terms and be able to move to a larger space because we're not outgrown of their current space, but we're getting there pretty quick. So we had this opportunity. The one larger space in our building has come available, and our landlord has given us the opportunity to take it. But it's going to happen in 2 weeks, which is like the worst timing ever for us. But we'll be able to be there for several years, have plenty of room to grow, not have to worry about space as a constraint for any decisions that we make in the future. So what that means is we've got to up and move everything all over again. Now, granted, we're only moving about 50 feet, so it's not it's not the end of the world, but still uprooting the whole business and moving it and keeping it operational, switching over all the the internet and the phones and all that stuff is going to be a bit of a hassle.
It's a lot of logistics, all the address changes, all that. Yeah. It's a lot of work, even just to move to door fronts down. Bless you.
Yeah, so it'll be a little nuts.
We're hoping we'll continue shipping out packages as normal. There might be a couple days that we might not ship out. Depends whether we can move over the weekend or not. Mm-hmm. But we'll keep the website up. That won't be a problem. And the letter wall will go with us. We'll have a new wall for that.
Yep, we actually haven't been adding to the letter wall for the last couple of months just because we knew we'd probably be moving, so we didn't increase what we'd have to transfer. So we have a stack of notes that are just kind of sitting there waiting to be on the new letter wall. So
I get the biggest office because my office is the playroom and the nap room and the diaper changing room. And
we're literally gonna have a whole space for the kids just because. I mean, Joseph is more or less contained in Rachel's office right now for a good portion of the day, but then he kind of runs throughout the office and we all kind of chase after him and watch him and stuff. But
he's able to reach more stuff that he shouldn't.
Yeah, he's getting into everything these days. So having a more closed off space where he can really run around is going to be nice. So
it's very exciting. It's a little preemptive. We're not busting at the seams yet, but how often does an opportunity come up that you can not have to break your current lease?
Well, exactly. We're locked into our current space for the next 3 years. So it's like we have to either think, okay, are we going to be able to contain? I mean, keep in mind, we are not even a 3-year-old business yet. So everything that's happened from going from our dining room to our bedroom to our half our garage to our whole garage to this current space has happened in just over 2 years. Amazing. You got to figure for the next 3 years, is it likely that we might outgrow our space if we're already kind of reaching that point?
Yeah, we're at the point now where we have like 4 or 5 paper brands we're like considering.
We have a lot of brands we want to bring in.
Paper. We're just flat out of room. Like pens, we've been able to get a couple here and there, and inks we make room for. But like we're looking like needing room for more ink samples even, and just like not having wall space for that, and hiring more folks and needing places to put everyone. It is incredible. We're
pretty blown away by it all, and it's it's a pretty amazing experience just to be able to go through it all, and we're honored to even have these. We're plagued with good problems. We always say, we're always pushing our own limits and being challenged every step of the way, and this is just like another challenge to get to meet, but it'll be good. It'll be good in the long run.
Yeah.
And we figure, while we're not at the point where we're completely busting at the seams to move out of this space, it's probably better that we move now than we move like at the end of the year during Christmas season, or
the weather's really nice now, so it's not freezing, it's not hot.
Yeah,
it's
so
nice.
it's going to be a good time to transition, but it does mean a lot of extra work for us. And we already had a lot of extra work planned anyway.
We have so much up our
sleeves. We've got over a dozen different projects that we want to do that we just we have to
not include new products, of course.
Yeah, or maintaining anything else that we do. We're doing blog reviews and stuff. We're talking like completely different projects. So we've got more ideas than we have time and manpower right now. So we're constantly going to be striving to grow and continue doing that stuff. So
the new space will help us with that.
The new space will help.
It won't stifle us, so
yeah.
It'll be sad. I like our space. It's been good to us, but we're planning for growth because that's what we want to do. We couldn't do it without all of you and all your support. Everything you guys do to encourage us and all the feedback you give us. And,
it's
definitely
great.
Would love some new letters, put on our letter wall.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a much bigger wall.
Well, it's funny. We were talking the other day. You guys probably know there's a thread on FPN talking about drawings on our invoices.
Oh yeah,
Drew, our shipping
Drew's
manager,
drawings.
he's hardcore into Batman and comics in general. So all of his drawings end up gravitating towards Batman themes. Even if you ask for something else, Batman will probably end up in it.
Batman might pop up. Yeah.
And we're talking. It's like it'd be really cool. We obviously don't have time for a drawing for everyone, or the trade-off would be shipping. But like if you guys ever want, just like leave us a little note. Just let us know how we're doing, or just. I was thinking about like the Domino's, like you order online and like you have your tracker, and then you can choose to send a message to the person making your pizza. It's like, thanks for making my lunch, or like, it's just little stuff like that. Like,
we read that. We read the when you put something in your order comments, we read that.
Not just us, every single person in the shop reads it because it's the person printing the invoice, the person writing the note, the person packing it, the person doing your shipping label. Everybody along the way.
We all get to read it, so it's really cool. We really get a lot of camaraderie through reading the order comments,
and we get to know you that way too.
Yeah, so we encourage you to do that for sure. Anyway, so that's why we're going to be taking a hiatus from Right Time. The logistics of LE and just the energy that it takes, we need to focus our energy elsewhere for at least the next month or so. It may end up being longer. We'll have to really kind of feel it out. These days we're taking things kind of a day at a time.
Exactly.
But we'll see how we get settled into the new space. And we'll see how Ellie progresses and starts sleeping more and all that.
She's great. Don't get us wrong. It's just she's just a baby and having a
Yeah.
two-year-old too.
Yeah.
2 in diapers and.
It's just a lot. We take on a lot, and we're at the point where
We love it though.
yeah, well, we're at the point where we're working at our maximum, and so it's like, if there's any more that gets piled on, something else has got to get bumped off. And we've kind of been, we lately for the last couple of months, we've been really tired during right time. We've, sometimes had to scrounge up for topics, here and there.
You guys are giving up of your evening, and we want to be the best for you. We want it to make it worth your while, both for those of you who are here live and those of you who watch the recording afterwards. We want to make sure it's worth your while.
Yeah, exactly.
Or listen to the podcast.
Yeah, so we're constantly looking and reevaluating and saying, what's the best use of our time? And for right time, with the amount of energy we'd be able to put into it, it wouldn't be the best use of our time for the next month or so. So anyway, we're kicking that dead horse.
Or yes, for those of you in Australia, giving up your lunchtime.
Your lunchtime in the future, Rocky.
Yes, Rocky in the future.
That's right.
With his backwards flushing toilets and all of such things.
Yeah.
Okay, topics. We have a lot of topics.
We got a lot of stuff to cover. We're gonna kind of keep rolling on through. We're gonna keep an eye on what's going on in the chat. If you guys are talking about possum poo and who knows what in the chat. So we may ignore the side comments, but we'll try and address anything pertinent. So okay, let's go ahead and just kind of jump in with some of what we got. We got first thing on the list, the announcement of our new paper brand. I know a lot of you have been waiting to see what our new paper brand is. Rachel announced it on Facebook and in our newsletter.
It's never been sold in the U.S. before. Now, there are a couple reviews floating out there.
There's 2 that I know of. Two bloggers have reviewed this paper. But it
doesn't have a distributor in the U.S. It's never been sold here in the U.S. So we're the first. Mm-hmm. We're kind of piloting it for them and kind of seeing what the demand is like and going from there. We're trying to figure out, maybe we'll do some giveaways. We haven't figured out the logistics yet. So So
we'll probably coordinate something on the blog.
Yeah, we're going to do a full blog post introducing the brand and do like a little mini review. That'll be coming. Yeah. But we're going to use this opportunity now to introduce it. So the brand is it
Banditapple?
Is it Banditapple Carnet?
Banditapple Carnet. I think it's Banditapple Carnet.
So it's a line of notebooks. They're made in Vietnam. They come through Korea. So the company is based out of Korea. And as a project to help employ Vietnamese people, especially women, they're creating these notebooks. So they're all made.
Yeah, they're all handmade.
All handmade.
Consistent paper source, renewable.
Yes, fountain pen friendly. That is like our number one requirement. We're like, oh, they're nice, but we don't care what it looks like. We have to test it out first. So we got some samples.
And honestly,
a couple weeks ago.
We did get some samples a couple of weeks ago. What happened was
we have it here. We're going to show you. Don't worry.
Okami Whatever reviewed it on her blog, and that's where it first kind of became known. I guess I don't know how she found out about it.
There was another blog. I want to say it was Rance of the Archer.
Okay, that makes sense. Rance of the Archer. I forget where she's based out of. Shoot, I can't remember, but I know it's in Asia. Okay. So anyway.
And someone's got the link up in the chat there, and we're also we'll post the links too when we do ours.
Yeah. So anyway, Okami Whatever did a nice review. Well, the Okami Whatever's review, she actually reached out to us and said, "Hey, I just tried this paper. This stuff is pretty great. I'd love to see this in the U.S. Would this be possible?" And so we looked up who Banditapple was. And contacted them and said, "Hey, we saw this review. This paper looks interesting. Your notebooks are, kind of different than anything that we have currently. Could you send us some samples? We'd love to try it for ourselves and possibly look at carrying it."
Yeah, all the notebooks we have, we pretty much have, as far as notebooks go, it's just the Extra Claire line. So it's Clairefontaine and Rodeo, which are wonderful, but they're very, what's the opposite of absorbent?
They're very ink resistant. They're very slick, ink resistant, smooth, which is, believe me, I love it.
Which is great for some situations, but other people.
Well, not everyone wants that.
Right, and not all inks. Like some inks take forever to dry on it, and that can be a problem based on your situation. Yeah. So these are extremely fountain pen friendly. We tested ourselves. We tested with Flex pen, and really we
tested with pencils, gel. Sharpie, all kinds of different stuff, and held up really well.
And they held up very well. They're much more absorbent, so they're going to dry.
It's more textured. It's more textured.
A little texture, but not like Lalo or anything like that.
No, it's not laid paper.
It's like a smooth texture, if that makes sense.
It's sort of a little bit, not quite as textured as like the cotton Crown Mill paper, but sort of like that. How you can tell that Rhodia is a little more textured than Clairefontaine.
Yeah.
Well, this stuff is a little more textured than Rhodia.
Now, do we know the gram
Textured
weight?
maybe isn't the right word. Shoot, I want to say it's. I don't remember, to be quite honest with you.
I want to say it was like 70 or 80.
I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. There are like sleeves that came with all this, with all the information on it, and I didn't bring it. All I brought was the notebooks themselves.
So there are 3 sizes, and we're still finalizing the price, but I can give you a ballpark at least.
Yeah.
There are 3 sizes. The small one is called the Pee-wee.
Try and get
So
that makes it look huge. Let me hold it
It's
back
3.5 by 5.5.
There's it in my hand.
So it's called the Pee-wee.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know how many sheets it has? That's
I
gonna
don't.
be
I have all the
in our
information.
review too.
I have all the information.
And the
at
cover,
the shop.
the covers remind me, kind of like
a
the Clairefontaine
basic.
Yeah.
Not quite as thick, but it's like a thick cardboard cardstock type.
They
cover.
come in lined
Sort of
and
like
blank.
a field notes type cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in lined and blank. So this is the Pee-wee.
They have a graph version too, and they have a planner as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. The only thing that we currently have now is the blank. That's what we got to just start off.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do a video too. Like I said, the blog post is coming. It's going to be a full review and introduction.
Oh yeah. I plan to do that for sure. Actually, I'll probably spend most of my day tomorrow doing that. But here's the size of the smaller one. Right now, what we have is the red and the black version of these ones. There are other colors, like there's a green color. There is these are some of the samples that we got. There's like a honey color like this, and then there's like a darker like caramel type color.
The ones we have for sale that we just got in this week are all black and red.
Yeah.
So
we got kind of a limited selection.
And we only
just
have
to start.
blank to start out with. So we're just going to kind of start out with a small selection, kind of see how it goes. And like I said, we're going to try to coordinate some sort of
yeah, we'll be able to coordinate
some sort of promo
something.
or something. Especially if you have a blog, we really want to get the word out for this company. So
yeah, they kind of wanted to work with us on getting some of these notebooks quicker than normal, just because they're normally when you're importing stuff from halfway across the world, it takes a long time. So we work to get it from them kind of quickly because they want to get a presence in the U.S.
So
and they want us to kind of be the ones to introduce the U.S. to these notebooks, get a feel for how everybody likes them, and so on. So we'll probably look to do something on the blog.
You're asking, can you special order lined? No doubt we're going to carry the lined. It's just our first shipment. We just got the blank. So going over the sizes again. The small one is the Pee-wee. That's the 3.5 by 5.5. It's going to be around $3. Again, I don't know the page count. We haven't. I don't have all the information.
I want to say it's. I don't know. I could count it real quick if you have something to talk about.
No, don't.
Hang on.
It'll be in the blog post. Brian.
I'm only gonna count half because then I can just double it.
So that's the Pee-wee.
17? Does that make sense?
35? 40 sheets? No, Brian, don't waste time. Come on, we got lots to cover.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, we'll have the full specs on everything. 64. Yeah, I think it's 64.
It's probably
that sounds right.
in her blog.
Yeah.
Okay, the next size up is called the Handy. This is like a tall, skinny one.
It's just a little bit wider
like,
than the Pee-wee.
I want to say 4.25, 4.5 by 8-ish. Mm-hmm. 4.5
Sounds
by
about
8.25, something like that.
Sorry, we don't know the exact dimensions. Like we mentioned, we're really tired and stressed
we
right
just
now.
haven't. We just got these in.
We just got them in, and
prepared.
exactly.
So it's tall and skinny. It's called the Handy, and this is going to be, I want to say, around $5 or so. Mm-hmm. Somewhere around there. Yeah. And then the last size is called the Tablet. So this is more, it's not quite an A5, but it's closer to it.
It's more A5-ish. Here's the Handy next to the Tablet. It's the same height. It's just a little bit wider.
Yeah. It's not quite as fat as an A5, but that'll be around like the $6 range.
But some of the nice things about these is it's just a stitched binding. It's a hand-stitched binding. I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah, you can
but
see
there's
it.
the stitching. So if you want to talk about a notebook,
it lays flat.
A notebook that lays flat, nothing will lay flatter than these. Even staple bound won't lay this flat. I mean, they are amazingly flat. Mm-hmm. So that is a huge plus. If you're They're not perforated.
Oh,
no.
okay.
That's just the.
I'm just seeing the stitching.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, they're not perforated. They're not meant to be torn out or anything
They're
like that. They're
just notebooks.
Yeah. So, but they are pretty cool. The feel of the paper is different. It's not a bright white paper. It's a little off-white, more leaning towards gray than ivory.
Yeah, it's not ivory.
Yeah, so it is a little bit off-white. So
like
if you're not a fan of the Clairefontaine like stark white with super smooth, then this will probably be a good alternative for you, which is why we're kind of excited to carry it.
And it's like we said, it's a lot more absorbent. Your inks are going to dry quicker. Now, what that does, the trade-off, like Clairefontaine, you can get really good shading and things like that because it's repelling the ink off the page. When you have higher absorbency, sometimes the color can be a little flatter, which is great in some cases. In other cases, you'll be like, oh, this doesn't look the same as it does on my Clairefontaine paper. It's just,
Yeah.
It's just something different.
Yeah.
So look for those on our site soon.
You're asking compared to the Rhodia web book? Oh, it's not even the same thing. It's not even a comparison.
Oh, and the price is completely different. Oh, you're talking about like the paper color? I mean, the Webby is a lot more ivory. These are a lot more of that, I'd say, off-white.
Yeah, the Webby is more like a yellow color. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, this is not going to show you
you'll be able
colors
to see
very accurately. I'll do more stuff like on the blog, but maybe you can get an idea here of. You can kind of see that yellow versus gray, if you will. So they're both off-white, but the
you can grab one of your white swabs there as a example, Clairefontaine white.
Okay, yeah. So
there
is Clairefontaine white next to the gray, next to the yellow off-white of the Rhodia, if that makes sense.
Do they do larger size for journals, like 240 pages, etc.? I don't think so, but I'll inquire just so we know what the full product line is, and we'll include that in the blog too.
Yeah, the only thing that they made us aware that they're doing is these small Cahier type things. So
What's
like
called Cahier?
Cahier? I don't know.
I don't know. I never knew how to pronounce it.
That's one of those things that everybody pronounces differently, and nobody really knows how to say it real well.
I'm going to try to have these on our site maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll just go ahead and list them ahead of the blog for sale. So if you want to try them out, and then we'll have a full blog post. It probably won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be Friday. We'll make it our goal.
And Axamander says, I'm excited about a paper on which ink might dry a bit faster on Rhodia. Yeah, that's exactly right. The ink will dry faster on here than Rhodia and Clairefontaine. That's part of why we're excited about it. Don't get me wrong. I am so sold on Clairefontaine and Rhodia. It's not even funny, but this is a different. I'm always looking for different paper that still performs well with fountain pen ink. If you want like the ultimate in ink resistance and performance with fountain pen ink, I'm still a fan of Rhodia and Clairefontaine. But I'm always looking for paper like Crown Mill and Banditapple, and we've got some other ones out there. Basildon Bond is one that's come up a lot, and I actually have a sample of that Tyler Dahl sent me because he's really into Basildon Bond, and that's from the UK. That's one that we're looking into as well. So there's a lot of different paper that we're looking at. And
you're asking any chance of a hardbound version or more paper. This is a really relatively new company. Like I said, this is their first venture even to the U.S. So, any feedback you have about ideas, I'm sure they would love to hear. I can't promise anything at all because I don't know what their capabilities are, how scalable they are. But we'll definitely pass your feedback on. So,
you're getting your first Clairefontaine, huh? Well, I hope you like it too. Let me know how you like it. I mean, I love Clairefontaine. Don't get me wrong.
Paper.
Love Clairefontaine. I love Rhodia. I use a Webby. I use a dot pads. All of the time. We go through dot pads like it's toilet paper.
Oh, yeah.
At the shop. Everybody uses dot pads around our office.
They're so versatile.
Yeah, definitely. You use Quavatis, the Habanas. I use those. I have a couple of those that I keep with journals for my kids. So we use all the different kind of stuff we have. I use the Crown Mill stuff. I use that for correspondence. I use Lalo. We like to use it all.
We're users of our own products.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure.
We're dealers hooked on our own goods. There's no question about that.
Yeah, exactly. So if you ever have any questions about your paper, what's best to use, that helps us help you by us using it ourselves. So
yeah.
Let's move on to the 12 new Atramentis colors we got in today. These are brand new for 2012, so they're not just new to us, they're new to everybody. I think I just saw them start to get listed on the Atramentis website, so I think they're starting to go out through the world, I guess.
Yeah.
But some of them are standard colors, some are scented, and there's one for like the Year of the Dragon, the Chinese New Year, and then there's a whole bunch of U.S. themed things which I thought were really cool. So one for the 225th anniversary of the Constitution, and then a bunch for famous U.S. historic people. And they're not scented, because we're like, what is
like, what does Ben Franklin smell like? But it's not scented.
I mean, he was a player, so you never know.
I'm pretty sure they all smelled bad because they didn't shower much back then.
True.
But anyway, so yeah.
The colors are nice. There's a couple repeats throughout, and we're starting to see with Atramentis, there are some repeated colors. Some are slightly different.
There are, and that's part of why we were excited to carry Atramentis is we have the swab shop.
Yeah,
there were really no good swabs of almost any Atramentis colors out there before we came along. Not to pat ourselves on the back, but that's a lot of work we put into that, and for the good reason that we wanted to show the colors of these inks, because there are some duplicates out there, and even in these 12 new colors, we have some duplicates.
Or some that you think are duplicates, but are really, really subtle differences.
Yeah. So.
Or if you like a color but want a scent or don't want a scent, actually it is handy to have different options.
Yeah. So
and just as a note, this is one of 5 shipments from my last order coming in. So we are out of like the steel blue and some of the other ones. They are coming in. They'll be here probably in the next couple weeks. We end up with like a shipment or 2 a week. They're kind of staggered because they ship it to us as they make it. They do English bottles, English label bottles for us.
Mostly English.
Mostly English. There's a couple really funny
the
typos.
George Washington doesn't have an E on the end of George.
No, I'm talking about like in a fountain pen. There's that extra P in there for Punten pens.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, look at some of the bottles in the bottle and swab pictures that we have on the product pages. Yeah, they're pretty.
I don't know if it's translation issues or just haste. Either way, they make the ink fresh for us on demand and put English names on everything. So the ink kind of comes in various staggered shipments. So we are restocking some of your favorites, and we'll have more of the historic people inks. You can see everything on our site that we're getting, so we'll just put them in stock as we get them. A couple questions going on in the chat here. You're talking about some are slightly off, like Night Blue and Sherlock Holmes are tiny bit different. Yeah, there's a couple of these we got that are like a dark blue and night blue as well, and I think they're slightly different.
Yeah.
Does the sandalwood actually smell close to sandalwood? It smells pretty good. I don't know what real life sandalwood smells like to know how accurate it is.
I don't know either.
What happened to the gorilla faces in the chat? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they changed those to.
I don't know.
By the way, you have a small journal, the medium size from Banditapple. It's nice paper, a bit softer than Clairefontaine, so the lines seem a bit wider, but no feathering.
Right, yeah. The paper's a little more absorbent, which is going to give you a little bit wider line, but it's going to dry faster. That's part of the trade-off. But honestly, a lot of people are used to the wider lines with the more absorbent paper, because that's a lot of what American paper is inkjet absorbent paper. So the Clairefontaine is usually the weird paper for most people when they get into fountain pens. So anyway, the Banditapple will be cool. So I'm going to go through each of these inks because I have the swabs right here.
Everything's updated online, so you can see. I have not updated the swab shop yet. I'll probably work on that tomorrow.
Yeah. So you'll have to take into account that this camera is not entirely accurate for the color, but at least hold it up and you can get a general idea. Here's the Alexander Hamilton. It's a nice dark purple, really beautiful color. Yeah, beautiful color. I'm a big fan of that one.
I believe it's the same as the standard aubergine.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, we'll have to compare the two side by side. That's what it says.
Atramentis Amaranth.
This is a new color.
This is not showing up that great, but it's like a maroonish color.
Burgundy-ish.
Yeah, not a super saturated, super vibrant burgundy, but it's there. Ben Franklin.
Dark blue.
Dark blue.
Oh, these are not turning out.
There you go. That's better. It was actually quite a bit of controversy around our shop as to why Ben Franklin was a blue ink and why Alexander Hamilton was an aubergine, and it was like,
George Washington's black.
Why are these colors as they are? Why are these people representing this color? I don't know. You guys can think about it. Dark Reseda green.
That's a brand new color.
Yeah, this is a nice one. A nice dark green color. Atramentis Dragon.
This is the 2012 Year of the Dragon.
Yeah, this
so
actually
celebrating the Chinese New Year.
This actually looks pretty identical to the Ben Franklin.
It's also night blue.
Dark blue.
Or dark blue, sorry.
Yeah. George Washington is black. A black that leans a little bit yellow. I said Hamilton was a
bit of a fop and a womanizer. Probably figured it was appropriate. I think they were all pretty much womanizers back then.
Yeah, not George Washington.
Especially Ben Franklin. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Atramentis gold.
That's a new color.
That's not showing up so great on there, but that's a nice gold color. Marin.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
It's like a brown that kind of leans green.
Yeah. Interesting.
I wonder how it'll compare to like Noodler's Burma Red Brown.
I could see it. It's pretty similar to Burma Red Brown.
A little darker,
but
maybe.
not as feathering.
Meadowsweet. This is the dark Reseda green color, but with a scent.
Yeah. Interesting scent.
Maroon means chestnut. Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know how to describe it. Oh,
okay.
chestnut.
I'd never heard it before.
There you go. Is it Maroon or Marin or I don't know.
You guys tell us.
Don't go off of us on how to pronounce these things. Please tell us.
Papaya. This one smells awesome.
Oh, it smells really good, yeah.
I find the fruit ones smell pretty darn accurate and really refreshing. Some of the floral ones are a little strong to me.
Some of the floral ones are a bit much. But
and then the magic ones are just all over the
magic
place.
ones we can't even describe. People ask us what dragon and unicorn smells like, and we're like, I have no idea.
That's why we sell samples.
Yeah, we're no smell connoisseurs here.
Pearl Violet.
Pearl Violet. This is a nice purple that's not quite so dark and saturated. If you like the lighter purples, like
kind of in between a lavender and a purple.
Sort of like a J. Herbin L'Ombre de Cassis type color.
No, it's not that pink.
No, yeah,
it's like
you're
a nice
right.
Lavender.
Yeah, okay.
That's a new one. And then finally, this is the 225 years of the U.S. Constitution.
It's like a good...
It's called a ultramarine blue.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen this color before. This is kind of a new one.
Yeah, it's a nice, true... I would say it's more of like a sky blue than like a blue on the American flag
it's
type
not
of blue.
Turquoise, though. There's
no,
really
it's not
no
turquoise.
green
There's
in
no
it.
green. There's
it reminds
no
me
green
a lot of like Sailor Sky High.
A little bit, yeah. It doesn't have a sheen like Sky High, but it's very close in color. Yeah, okay. I can see that.
Yeah, I would have thought Year of the Dragon would have ended up being red too. I'm surprised it ended up being the blue, but the Sherlock Holmes is night blue, so it's gonna be like a dark blue.
Mm-hmm.
On our site, if you go into each product, I think I have all the descriptions updated for the new colors we're getting for the people. I think it says like dark blue color, something like that. So that's just based on what I know. Again, I haven't seen samples or swabs of anything, and there's some I don't even know at all what they are. Like, I can't remember which one it was. Beethoven, maybe. I don't know. Well, we'll know when they come.
Yeah. Would we say that Atramentis inks are generally less saturated? There's 300 different colors, so it kind of has a range.
They're not Noodler's PR saturated, but they're definitely more saturated than J. Herbin. I'd say they're
probably
more
about like
Diamine.
Yeah, very close to Diamine in terms of their level of saturation. Some of the
Roaring
colors...
Klingner, Diamine, kind of like that middle of the road.
Yeah.
Someone just said Ellie is awfully quiet.
Can you read? Up a little bit. A little shout out there.
Yeah, she is learning her colors. She's learning fancy colors. Maybe we should start with the primary ones.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph's still learning his colors.
Oh, yeah.
And reading. Yeah.
Oh, she's talking. Hey, you want to pipe in?
No. You don't like being on the spot? She's
anyway,
a great kid.
So those are the 12 new colors. We just got them in yesterday, and they're already up on the swab shop and the product pages. So I was hustling today to get that done. But the colors they're pretty cool. I like, the Atramentis, they're nice and wet, very smooth, a lot of good shading on a lot of these colors.
They have a lot of amazing shaders.
Yeah, big fan.
Every time Alex, because she keeps using the Atramentis, and everyone knew what one thing, so I was like, wow, it's a good shader. I think I put steel blue, and maybe that's why you're asking about it, because I was writing some thank you notes with that, with my new Edison Mina. With a custom ground metallic, Custom metallic. So if you have a note from me in Atramentis steel blue, that's what that is.
On that note, that's a good segue.
Edison's.
Yeah, that's a good segue.
There's a lot of Edison news, but we're not going to share all of it tonight.
Yeah. So the Edison, what we're going to talk about tonight as far as Edison goes, this is kind of a recent development that maybe some of you have no idea what's going on. Oh, hey. But on the Fountain Pen Network, the idea came up about doing a group buy for an Edison pen. And essentially what a group buy is basically where a bunch of people get together and purchase what would normally be like a custom pen that Brian Gray would
they
sell
all buy
for
the same thing in order to get it at a discount in that it can be produced in mass quantities.
Exactly. Sort of like the production pens, how Brian's able to offer the pen at, $150 instead of his normal $250 or more.
But the difference with the group buys, it's like a one-time, point-in-time sort of thing.
And he's done this before. He's done it with Badger and Blade. He's done it with, some local like pen groups and stuff like that. And he's had some pretty decent success. But we, the idea of this group buy started to come about, and we had kind of seen it, and our name started to get thrown around a little bit.
Well, the basically what happened is, everyone is getting together. FPN is great for collaborating, doing polls, and figuring out what people like. But then you need a way to actually sell them, collect the money.
Transacting, shipping, distributing, all the logistics, which we do every day, day in and day out. We don't even think about it.
We already do with Edison's. We're already set up for it. So
exactly.
our name got thrown in, or maybe I volunteered. I can't remember. But we talked to Brian Gray. We're like, hey, does it make sense for us to do it? And he's like, yeah, I'd rather go through a retailer.
Well, honestly, what happened was Brian Gray's got a lot of different irons in the fire. They've got pen shows that they're going to and have just gotten back from.
Production line.
He's adding another pen to a signature line. We're working on an Edison
Nouveau.
Yeah, he's working on.
Which we just finalized the third material tonight. I'm very excited.
He's working on other projects. So he was like, look, this FPN pen isn't even going to happen unless you guys can step in and help distribute it. Because he was like, I can't even handle it.
Well,
so we were like,
he needs someone else to help do it, to help bring the cost down. If he had to ship them all out himself, if he had to collect the payment, he had to do all the correspondence, you're going to pay the regular price, because there's no discount involved for him. He can't really do anything in bulk.
Exactly.
Sorry, third material. I was referring to our Edison Nouveau that we're designing, not the Edison Pearl. I'm sorry.
Stick to one pen at a time.
Sorry.
Just don't confuse everybody.
Edison Nouveau is separate. We'll announce that probably with our next right time.
Yeah. So anyway, the Pearl was the pen of choice kind of from the beginning for this pen. For this pen, and some ideas got thrown out about materials. Brian was like, okay, I got some materials in mind, and he threw up, 4 different options? 5 different options for people to vote on. He had an open period to vote on the poll, and there were 2 pens that were like neck and neck, like literally within 1 vote of each other at the end. So
I don't know if it came that close, but it was pretty darn close. It ended up being like, last I checked, it was like 49 to 41 or something like that.
Oh, okay. But
and everything else had like under a half dozen votes. It was like clear. And so we're like, well, we could choose the Ebonite because that's the winner.
Well, yeah, it was Ebonite. It was brown and beige Ebonite versus the Cobalt Acrylic was pretty much the only ones in the race. So that's...
Which, as a side note, the Cobalt we considered using in our next Edison Nouveau.
We did.
But we thought it was too similar to the one in our Premiere, which they're very similar. I mean, they're different, but we thought it was too similar, and so that's why he decided to offer that up as an option, which now I'm like, oh, man, it's really popular. Maybe we should have done it for our next Edison Nouveau.
Oh, that's all right.
Anyway.
Oh, getting a little upset. Might be crib time here. I can take over if you want to. Yeah. So the... Anyway, as the thing developed, we talked through the logistics behind the scenes with Brian. He liked what we had to offer. Looked like we were going to be able to help each other out. And then as the choices got chosen, he decided that there was enough interest in both pen materials where he would just offer them both. He was originally just going to offer one pearl material. But, because he had the ebonite and the acrylic, it was really 2 different materials, and he thought it would be cool to offer both. So he decided on doing both. The ebonite is more expensive because the material itself is more expensive, so that's why it costs more. The pearl, the cobalt fleck is $170, and the ebonite is $190. So there's the 2 different ones there. What's unique about this is it's not just limited to a Fountain Pen Network membership buy. Because we're the ones doing it, basically we're going to have a 2-week open period. So up until March 25th, Sunday at 11:59 p.m. That's going to be the open period. From now until then, anybody can get one of these pens. You're basically pre-ordering, one or both, like you say in the chat, one or both or whatever, however many you want of these pens, and you are paying for the pen in full up front because that's what Brian needs to cover all the materials and all the everything that all the labor and everything he's doing up front, and then we are going to close the period. Brian will know exactly how many pens he needs to get all the materials in, and start making pens and all that. It's going to take 2 to 3 months because he's got a whole lot of other things in the works. So it's going to take a little while to build these pens. And then as soon as he's done, he's going to ship all the pens to us, and we are going to blast them out to everybody. So logistically, what we really had to offer was not only the smooth transacting, the secure payment and all that stuff, the logistics, the shipping, all that, and we can do that pretty well. But also we have a lot of other stuff at our store, which you probably were interested in anyway. We decided it would be really cool, especially since you're having to wait such a long time to actually receive the pen. We figured if you want, you can go ahead and buy the pen, get whatever else you want. We'll ship you all your other stuff now, and then we'll ship you the pen when it comes in at no extra charge. So we'll eat that cost, and we'll just ship out the pen once it comes. That's kind of our way of saying, thanks and for being so patient with the whole group buy thing. So a pen that normally would be $250, or for the ebonite would be closer to $300 normally, you're getting for $170 or $190. So it's a good deal. It's the exact same pen that you would get if you were purchasing it custom, same quality, same nib, same everything that you would normally get, except you're getting it at a good price. And the only trade-off, well, I would say the only trade-off is that you're having to wait a while, but honestly, Brian's pretty backed up. I mean, backed up probably a good month or 6 weeks or so, maybe a little bit more or less, I'm not sure, with his custom line anyway. So you would really be waiting to get a custom pen anyway. So if you happen to like the Pearl and you happen to like the materials that he's got for those two pens, it's a really pretty good buy. So you got a couple of weeks to think about it. I'm not trying to hard sell you or anything here, but if you already had your eye on an Edison, already had your eye on a Pearl especially, the Pearl is not normally available except in his signature custom line. So anyway, if you guys have any other questions about that, we're going to be doing, well, I already did a post on it. You can post on the blog that I did about the Edison Pearl, or you can, shoot us an email or anything like that. So, okay, so let's see here. You're waiting for the next Goulet Gray collaboration. Yes, the next Edison Nouveau. Okay, so you're asking some stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but it's still not like going to happen tomorrow kind of thing. So we're not trying to hype that pen up too far in advance.
But that is what
we have
I
made
did
some
mention.
progress. We have made some progress.
The design has been finalized. The materials have been finalized.
Yes.
So now he just has to order materials. We have to wait for them to come in.
Yes.
And then we should be good to go. So I guess we're looking at
a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, I think by our next
it's not going to be too much longer.
I think our next write time could maybe the next write time could be
I mean, it might be good to come back from the hiatus. Would be to come back with Brian on the broadcast and do a reveal and all that stuff.
I think it depends on the materials. So waiting for those to come in.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So we're very excited. I think one of them's a material he's never used before.
Yes, you're right.
I think he had a new supplier.
I think he's made maybe 1 or 2 pens out of it. But what's also really cool about these new Edison Nouveaux is that we have prototyped. I say we.
Probably like
Brian and Andrea Gray.
Designs.
Yeah, we've seriously prototyped at least 20 different pens.
Yes, they are going to be postable. I can tell you that much.
They are going to be postable. Yes, and Brian is going to sell all of the prototype pens out of these unique materials that we've considered for the pens. He's gonna sell those all as artist proofs.
He'll probably do it through
I think through an email thing. So we'll have more on that later, but he's gonna, those are gonna go like that. I just know because we got so many different cool looking pens. It's just for some reason or another we decided, either we wanted 3 pens, but some of the colors looked too similar to the other ones, or some of them we didn't like a particular aspect of it,
or loved but we couldn't get in the quantities we needed.
Yeah,
that was actually most of
it. That was actually more of a problem than anything, was just supply.
Which is good for all you getting signature pens because you get to have those materials, but a little more limiting. But we're very excited about what we've chosen. So. Things we've revealed, it's going to be a little smaller. It's not going to be as pointy as the Premier.
Yeah.
And it's got something special that he's never done before on a pen integrated into it.
2 special things.
2 special
things
that he's never done before.
That he's never done.
And it will use a number 5 nib, I can tell you that. Because it is smaller. So it's the same nib as the Mina and the Pearlette, which means you can switch them all around between those models.
Well, and previously, I'm not sure if we ever talked about this, but previously, he's never had his number 5 nibs engraved before.
That's the other thing we're waiting on.
But that was kind of what pushed this whole thing back. Actually, not unlike the original Premier. when we came out with it is Brian had never
Premiere
done.
was the first to have his engraved nibs. So this will be the first to have his number 5 engraved nibs.
Yeah.
Filling mechanism, I can also say it's still a cartridge converter. So
but
that
also
is
convertible to an eyedropper as well.
Of course. So that is not the new feature.
Right.
It's something else that he's doing on this pen that's different.
Yeah.
So it'll still be cartridge converter.
But that's all we're going to say.
Nib, smaller, not as pointy. 3 designs.
You tend to give away too much.
I'm recapping.
So I'm
recapping.
Let's move on. Okay.
That's all.
So that's coming. That wasn't even on our list to talk about. So we got to keep on trucking here.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't.
TWSBI, that's next.
TWSBI, yes.
Okay, so
a lot of drama.
You probably, if you guys follow Fountain Pen Geeks, they were the first to break the news. We actually learned about it through them.
Yep. That often happens. We find out about news through bloggers and forums.
They are on top of things.
They really are.
Like, seriously, we found out through them.
I'd be surprised if you guys don't know who Fountain Pen Geeks is already.
We found out through them, and then immediately, can you just move this?
Oh, sorry.
The charger, and immediately confirmed with TWSBI directly, so we got more of the background information. But basically, the TWSBI VAC 700 was supposed to come out the end of this month. Well, it was supposed to come out a long time ago, so it keeps saying delayed. It's delayed till May at this point, which, needless to say, we're very disappointed about because we already started like our email wait list and things like that, and it's been hyped for so long. But we're glad they're waiting because it is because of a problem they found with cracking once they got to production, which bummer it happened in production because that's a lot of undoing and things they have to do. But again, I'm glad they're taking their time to put a quality product to market instead of putting out something that then they have to recall or, fix or anything.
Yeah.
So they're
May 2013.
No, the new target is May of this year. But again,
it's been pushed back so many times.
I would not be surprised.
Who knows?
So then there's good and bad news to go with that. The good news is instead of, because they felt really bad that they weren't releasing a pen this month after it's been hyped for so long. So they decided to bring the Micarta to market, which is a really cool looking pen.
It's very unique.
It's very unique. Some people love it and some people are like, ugh, not really feeling it.
Yeah.
So that's the good news, is that the Micarta will be available. The bad news is it's in such limited quantities. So that's bad right there. So not everyone who wants one will probably get one. But worse for us is that it's so limited that TWSBI isn't giving any to their retailers. They're only going to sell it directly. So by directly, I mean their Amazon and their eBay store. And if they ever launch their actual own store, which they're supposed to do soon, I think. So we don't have anything new till the VAC 700s come in.
I'm hoping that we can convince them at least to send us one Micarta so that we can talk about it, blog about it, take pictures and stuff.
Yeah, we'll
ask. I think as of right now, we're not supposed to get any of them. So
no, and they have two different Micartas. One has a clip and one doesn't. So I don't even know what the final Micarta is going to be because they changed it partway through. And that's why they have these two little batches. So sucks for us. We have colored 540s now. We sold out of all the clear, sold out of the italic nibs because those quantities were limited. So I don't know when we're getting more of those.
And we're really sorry for everybody who's been frustrated about.
It sucks for us
TWSBI.
too. It really does.
Believe me, we are fighting to get as much as we can, but there's just such limited quantities. I mean, even TWSBI themselves, having their stock because they sell directly.
Yeah, we're limited because they're limited, and everybody's limited. Any retailer you go that has it, they have very few in stock, and we're probably
badgering them just to the point of
annoying.
Not just to the point of where we start to feel we might be getting annoying, and then we kind of back off.
I feel like every email I do is I hate to be a bother, but
yeah. So anyway.
So we're fighting for you. We're trying to get it. But so good news, if you do want the Micarta, it will be available through eBay and Amazon by TWSBI directly. But again, limited quantities. So
yeah. So that's
and then the VAC 700 is supposed to come in May. So we'll see. That's
kind of bittersweet. But the VAC 700,
I'm glad they're taking care.
of it, and gosh,
it's still hyped to be amazing.
I just hope they have it in some kind of a decent quantity because I know everybody's going to go freaking nuts over these things. Because the only alternative really for a modern vac filler is either Viscontis, which are in the $500 to $600 range, or the custom 823 from Pilot, which is $388 list. So
the Micarta release date is supposed to be the end of this month. I don't know exactly because we're out of the loop there. It's up to TWSBI when they get their shipment in.
Yeah, we're not going to be real hip to the release date for the Micarta because we're not getting
Check
any,
their
so.
Facebook page. That's the best place for information. Or Fountain Pen Geeks will pick it up probably.
Yeah.
So that's all we know there.
Yeah, so
we'll
it'll
keep
be cool.
you posted on anything we know, but for now, just we don't have.
If you haven't noticed a trend, if you've been following us for a while, you've noticed things
we
like...
let you know when we know stuff.
Well, we let you know when we know things, but we also tend to, we try to give information because we get asked about new products so much. But at the same time, we try to be very loose about the dates that we give because I can pretty much say just about every new product across the board that's released gets delayed at least once. Between paper, ink, and pens.
We had one shipment of
Have we
Diamine
ever
colors
had
that was on time.
one shipment?
Yeah, this one's been delayed. We're supposed to get it at the beginning of the month. It's been delayed. Yeah, the orange custom 74s were supposed to come out.
I mean, I'm thinking back to
maybe
even
I
like...
heard wrong. It's supposed to be the beginning of this month. Now it's April.
I'm thinking back to like, J. Urbon with their 1670.
All the new Rhodia products.
That was delayed. Rhodia products always get delayed. Noodler's Flex pens, golly, they were delayed
Conrad's
multiple
delayed.
times. The music, the
Ahab got
Noodler's
delayed.
music pen was talked about 16 months ago, and it's still not even like we haven't even seen it yet.
No, we're not
It's
casting
not even,
blame. Like, there's legitimate reasons
No,
why
yeah.
everything's
I mean,
delayed. It's either manufacturing errors, there's
yeah.
custom problems, there's just
You would be
crap that happens in
amazed.
shipping.
You would be amazed at the logistics that go into having an idea to make something and having it available for sale. It is just an incredible string of events that have to happen seamlessly. And everybody has good intentions with trying to release things, but it's sort of like when you have a housing contractor, you try to build a house, but there are so many different things that could go wrong along the process. It almost always gets delayed.
Rocky says VAC 700 pushed back to May 2013 as due to massive protests as Fountain Pen Geeks stormed the TWSBI factory. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that
sounds legit.
Yeah.
Someone's asking any news on the Rhodia colored Webbies. That's another thing. It kind of got not announced but hyped. Come to find out, it was only available overseas. It wasn't imported to the U.S. Come to find out, the pictures in the catalog are a prototype. They don't even exist yet.
Yeah.
But basically, because of the demand and everything else, Execlair, the U.S. retailer, decided, okay, we're going to go ahead and carry those. As far as a date goes, they're supposed to be available starting in the summer, but that, again, they haven't even been manufactured yet. And, there have been times where they've made something and then there's something wrong with, the binding or the paper not cutting right or, just random things like that.
Yeah.
So I would expect it to be late summer to fall before you'd see it in the U.S. Maybe it'll be midsummer, but I'm expecting delays just because that seems to be, what's happening there. And as far as other Rhodia stuff, like the dot format or the dot pads and other formats, like the number 18 pad, the top wire bound, things like that, those are slated to come in June, but we'll see. Any idea when Noodler's is announcing the artist contest winners? I actually asked them about that this week because someone else was asking in Fountain Pen Geeks earlier this week. The deadline was the end of February, but that was like to mail stuff in. Dick, the distributor, he's had some time off here and there, so he just mailed the last entries to Nathan this week. So Nathan should be getting all the entries. I imagine it's going to take him a little bit to decide. I've seen some amazing entries. I don't even know how I would pick.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to decide.
If you go to the Noodler's Inc. website, you'll see a whole bunch. So, and it's amazing, just the talent on there and what people can do.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty incredible.
I would expect an announcement in the next couple weeks. But just, they're still compiling all the entries. But it is close, so no more entries. Don't try to mail stuff in now. But we'll let you know when we know. We'll repost it or whatever else.
Thanks for all the compliments about saying that we should run these companies. No, seriously, I wouldn't want to. I mean, we can't get into details about some of these things, but some of the logistical problems that happen in manufacturing are just like some of the biggest headaches you can ever imagine.
Do you want to go ahead and skip to the Omas Blue drama and the Herbin Poussier de Lune?
Yeah, while we're on a rant here, let's just seriously,
not a rant.
No. Everybody has the best of intentions. Sometimes stuff just happens, and everybody tries to deal with it. So, patience is mandatory with new stuff.
So,
we all get really excited. We're the same way. But
so Omas Blue,
yeah.
as you may have noticed, it hasn't been in stock on our website in a very long time.
Yeah, like 6 months probably, maybe
at least
more.
6 months. I think it's been since at least September.
It was basically like 2 weeks after we started carrying it.
No, it's like a month.
Maybe.
We had it for like a month or two.
Not long.
Basically, what happened, we didn't even notice because some of our customers started writing back and saying, "Hey, this looks
kind of turquoise."
And we're like, "Oh, well, maybe
they switched it.
Because the bottle
boxes.
isn't labeled, so you wouldn't know, or and the box isn't really well labeled either.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, well, we'll look into that. And sure enough, we went to our stock, and some of it was blue, and some looked turquoise. So we sent some of it back to our distributor,
mm-hmm.
and we got replacements. And sure enough, again, it was mixed. Except
it was a different turquoise this time.
We pulled out turquoise, like the actual Omas turquoise, and it wasn't the same. Mm-hmm. So it was like something in between. It was some sort of weird thing. So we shipped everything back, and I said, I'm not doing this a third time. I said, let me know when it's fixed, and I'll order more. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait. I keep emailing, any news yet, any news? Because they saw it. They're like, yeah, I have this on our desk. This is not what it's supposed to look like. Because Omas Blue is like a really deep royal.
It's an awesome blue. It's like a Diamine majestic blue.
It's like the best color, in my opinion, the best color Omas has to offer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By far.
So this is back in like September. Everything goes by and goes by, and so finally I reach out to them like last week or something. I was like seriously, it's been 6 months. Any news out? They're like, well, no other customers have complained. And they say they haven't changed anything. So I'm like, well, maybe we just got a series of bad batches. I'll try again.
Yeah, we'll try ordering it. This was like, 2 weeks ago? We're like, well, we'll order some again.
Last week.
And we'll see how it looks.
So we get our shipment in. It's about 20 bottles. This is Omas Blue we're talking about. And we swap them all up. And as you can see.
And this is what we get.
Every bottle was different.
This is what the Omas Blue should look like. This nice, deep, rich blue. This is like some kind of royal blue, and we got a couple of different shades of turquoise.
Ignore the lamy on the paper. That's nothing to do with it.
Oh, it's just a lamy paper. Yeah, this is Omas turquoise. So it was
Omas Blue.
It was, and honestly, you can't see the color variation as much on this webcam as you can in real life. But let me tell you, the difference is quite obvious.
Needless to say, it's still not on the site. So I told them, we sent them our pictures of everything, and they're like, yeah.
They're like, yeah, that is not really, it's not even like, it's not even the fact that it's off from its original color, which would be one thing, but it's not even the same color bottle to bottle. So
yeah,
it's
not even like a saturation issue. They're just like totally different hues, everything. So, finally I heard back, today, yesterday, and, and they got in touch with Omas directly. They sent them our pictures and everything.
Yeah, they were like, they're going to look into this. And we're like, that's a good idea.
No. They didn't say they're going to look into it. They said, oh, okay, we figured it out. We're going to send all new shipments and stuff.
Oh, okay, so they might have actually figured out the problem. Okay, well, in any case, we would have liked to see them be a little more proactive about this so that we could have had it fixed 6 months ago.
They sorted it out. From now on, we'll be delivering the real, that's what we kept calling it, the real Omas Blue. Will the real Omas Blue please stand up?
Okay, so
hopefully soon we'll have it back in stock. But for those of you who, A, have been waiting a really long time, hopefully we'll have it in again soon. And B, if you got one of the turquoisey bottles from us before and are waiting for a replacement,
email us.
I think I still have all your emails saved, but it's been
a long time.
so long, it could have gotten lost somewhere. So if you are one of these people who bought it from us and it wasn't the Omas Blue it was supposed to be, let us know. I don't think any samples got out that were bad.
I don't think so, because I think we caught it right away.
So
this would have been 6 months ago.
Let us know, and we'll get you fixed up. So hopefully we'll have it back in stock soon.
Yeah, it is a really great blue, though.
It's amazing. It's like their best color.
Yeah, it's not just with Omas, but it's just a great blue in general.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it coming back, because I personally was really enjoying using it, and I never set aside a bottle for myself when we originally got it in. So I never had. I inked it up in one of my pens when we first got it, and then it was like all we were getting in were, different bottles, and like we cleared out of samples, and I had no like Omas Blue for myself except like what was left in my pen, and I was like trying to make it last, but of course it didn't last that long. But anyway, so that's just interesting.
On that note, we noticed.
Well, we had somebody send us.
No, I saw it on FPN like a month ago, and I didn't really think about it too much. It didn't really click. And then someone emailed us, actually 2 different people emailed this week, saying that their Herbin Poussier de Lune looked more burgundy than dusty purple. It's a great dusty purple. We love it. It's been that color for a long time. It's one of your favorites. We actually used it in like our ink drop of our favorites a long time ago.
Yeah.
But they told us it was looking kind of burgundy. So we went to our bottles and we started swabbing, and sure enough, it looks different. Even the 100 ml then looks different than the 30 ml. So I emailed Exclair about this. I haven't heard yet. I just emailed them this week. Yours is dusty purple. Got it from us. That's good. So it's not, I mean, I don't know when it switched over. I don't know if it's a reformulation. I don't know if it's a bad batch. As you guys know, Herbin had some SITB issues, and they were working on reformulating some of their inks to get around, like to change how they were, putting their inks together.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
So I'm hoping it's not a color change, because I love the old color.
And Exclair has been great about, taking care of this kind of stuff.
So I let them know. I haven't heard back. I just emailed them today.
Yeah,
but I wanted you guys to be in the loop, because I took it all down off our website until we could get it sorted out, because what I don't want is someone to expect one color and get something else and be disappointed.
Yeah. So it's really hard to see the subtle differences of this color, but here's the original, what it's supposed to be. It's nice dusty purple. And what we found is in the 100 mils, it's coming out more of this dark purple, and in 30 mils, it's coming out more of a burgundy color. Which, honestly, I actually like all 3 colors, to be honest with you.
But
and it's not something that you necessarily would notice unless you are comparing them to each other. So I think that's why it's taken this long to really come out. Because, we'll be honest, we don't open up bottles randomly and check them, because we have 630 different colors.
Well, we don't want to,
And we don't want to contaminate random bottles or anything like that. So it's only when someone says, like, hey, is there a problem? Then we'll, like, pull a bottle and be like, okay, let's test this thing out. Because, weird stuff happens, randomly. Not often, but every now and then a color will be like this. But this is a weird problem. We've never had, an issue like this of a color that's been made for a long time all of a sudden coming out different.
So I'm hoping it's just some fluke and not a reformulation. If it's a reformulation, great. We'll redo our swabs. We'll move on and say this is the new color.
Well, I doubt it's a reformulation, because the color is different in the 2-size bottles. So something a little kooky is going on.
So we'll let you know when we know. Again, I pulled it off our site until we could figure it out. If you like the new one, then that's what we have. We could do that. So just email us. But if you want the old, I don't think we have any right now. Sorry,
is it hot?
Yeah, it's really hot. Our charger gets really hot. I don't know why.
Yeah, we got a little battery charger here for the laptops. This thing is cooking when we do broadcasts. Okay, so anyway, we don't want to rant about the ink colors, because honestly,
we'll let you know when we know.
Honestly, we have nothing but respect for the ink makers. It's just, they rely on you contacting us and then us contacting them if there are any problems that get out there like that.
And actually, one of the folks in the chat is one of the ones who contacted us. So.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's not a battery charger.
Thank you. No, seriously.
It's the Mac, the cord.
It's a laptop battery charger.
Yeah, it made it sound like we're charging batteries.
We are charging batteries.
Okay, a laptop. Yes, this is the standard Mac.
Yeah, the thing just gets cooking because we share it back and forth all night.
It's on all the time.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway,
other stuff. So let's go to new products coming soon. I mentioned, the other Atramentis colors are getting 5 new Diamine colors are supposed to be released beginning of this month. They are coming into our distributor this week. We should have them middle of next week.
Yes.
So 5 new colors. Let's see if I can remember. Aqua Lagoon, O'Donnell, Merlot, Matador, and Grape, I think. Maybe not Grape. Misty Blue? No, I can't remember. It's on our site.
Yeah.
So 5 new Diamine colors.
We'll be swabbing them. We'll be putting them up. We'll probably do a blog post to announce them.
There are 2 new Edelstein colors coming out. Tourmaline, and I've seen some reviews pop up on FPN, so I think it's available overseas, which means we'll have it soon. Tourmaline is like a new Edelstein ink of the year, so they're gonna take a new color and just have it for the year and rotate it each year, so it won't be part of the regular line. Tourmaline is it's called plum, but I think it's more of a pinky plum. So a pinky purple sort of color. And then the other color is Tanzanite, which is called a blue-black, but I always think of purple, but I think it's a blue-black that leans purple, so maybe that's accurate. But that's a new color that's added to the line. As you know, Pelican doesn't have a blue-black right now because they, at least they don't in the U.S., because it's no longer imported due to all the regulations and all this stuff that was in. No, No, it's Lamy is reformed. Yeah, Pelican's gone. There's no blue black.
Not in the U.S.
Not in the U.S. It's still being made, just not imported.
Right.
So this will help round out Pelican's line as far as blue blacks in the U.S.
Yeah. Even though Tanzanite is not really what you would think would be a blue black by its name, because like Private Reserve Tanzanite
the bright
is
purple.
A dark purple.
Yeah, and the review on FPN, it looked good. The thing I don't know is they reviewed the tourmaline and they did it in several different pens, and it looked crazy different in different pens. I don't know what's going on there. If it wasn't cleaned out properly or something. But so I'm not totally sure what that color looks like because it looks so different in their pens. But we'll have it soon enough. We'll do our swabs. You'll know when we know. But I think based on the prices I saw, they're a little more expensive. So Edison's really getting up there in price. But what are you gonna do?
A lot of it's bottle and packaging, honestly.
Oh, any chance of getting more Noodler's brush pen replacement tips? I just ordered some. We're getting a shipment tomorrow, so I'm hoping they're in there.
We asked for some a while ago, but Nathan's pretty busy with all he's got going on.
These are coming from Dick.
Oh, they are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Our shipment tomorrow. So hopefully they're in there. We asked for them, at least. So we'll see. Edison Roaring Cleaner glass pens. I just ordered these today. We've been having some issues with the Jeroboam glass pens.
We've had issues a lot in the past.
Long time. They changed them at some point.
It was about a year ago, I think.
Since then,
they changed the way they made them or something.
The QC just hasn't been. They're not as good as they used to be.
Yeah.
So we've been looking for some alternatives and discovered the Roaring Klinger glass pens. I've read some great reviews online, and they're beautiful. There's two different colors, and they have like different swirly colors in them, and the little the stopper before the nib, the Jeroboam's like a big ball. This one's a little flatter, so it's a little different grip, but I've heard good things, so we have those on order, so look for those soon. And the Jeroboam, I think we're gonna we're
probably gonna not carry them for a while.
Yeah,
we did that before. We were getting a lot of problems with ones that weren't writing. People were returning them, so we stopped carrying them for a while. We started to carry them again, and we were testing every pen as it was coming in. Of course, that's time consuming, and that eats away a lot of the what was I going to say? The return on investment for our time. When we're kind of short staffed, is like, should we really be testing $15 glass pens all day? Is that really worth it? And it's almost negates the benefit of even carrying the pens. So we're looking at the Roaring Klinger as an alternative to the glass pens. If they really turn out to be better, we're probably just going to switch over to those as our glass pen source. So that's what that's all about.
Posting a picture of the pens. I just posted a link. Hopefully it worked, to Roaring Klinger's site where they have pictures of their pens.
Yeah.
The glass pens, they're nice, and the reviews I read are really good. So we're looking forward to getting those.
You guys are talking about the Iroshizuku inks still in the chat. I actually have,
Iroshizuku bottles.
Yeah, the Iroshizuku bottles are sexy. I'm just going to say that. They are amazing looking bottles. And they're a big hunk of glass, too. You really feel like you're buying something when you buy one of those bottles. But I've done reviews of 17 out of the 21 colors. I'd actually done all the reviews before the 4 new colors came out. But then they were supposed to come out around now. They came out about a month ago. So I guess that would be an example of a new product that actually came out before its release, its expected release, at least in the U.S. The new Iroshizuku colors.
That's true.
That actually came earlier.
That reminds me, and you don't even have this on the topic. There's another topic we had tonight.
Oh,
the pilot updates.
Okay.
I found out. I just found out yesterday. There are 2 new Iroshizuku colors coming out in November. I don't know what they are, but it's in addition to the 4 that just came out, and it's going to complete the line at I guess 24 colors or whatever it's up to now.
That would only be 23.
Oh, maybe it's 3 new colors. I don't know. Either way, it's going to complete the line. So 2 or 3 new colors in November.
There you go.
Let me pull up my email. I can't remember. I don't want to.
Yeah. There's 21 now because there were 17. I think it was 17. Was it 18? Shoot, I can't remember now. I'm losing my mind.
There were 17 before. We just had a 4. That's 21.
21, and there's 3
more.
colors.
It says, 3 more are coming in November. The line will be finished with 24 colors.
Cool.
So, cool. I don't know what they are. Yeah. There's definitely some gaps in the line as far as certain color hues. So, I'm curious to see what they choose.
Yeah. So I'll be reviewing. I think I talked about this on the last right time too. I'll be posting the reviews of all the Iroshizukus that I did. What I will say is that this ink performs pretty awesome. I mean, it's expensive ink, but
an awesome bottle.
It is, for a lot of people it's worth it. It's not worth it for everybody, but for what it's worth, the ink is pretty great. It shades really well, and it's dries really fast.
Easy to clean.
And easy to clean and flows nicely out of the pens. Those are the biggest benefits. So, and some of the colors are pretty nice too. So anyway, I'll be posting reviews of those.
Okay. I got an email from Pilot yesterday with all these updates for things for the year. So new Pilot stuff and some price changes. So I'll go over that real quick.
Is this stuff all like public to share and everything? Okay.
Yeah, this is all stuff that's like imminently happening.
Okay.
And
I don't want to like spill the beans on something we're not supposed to yet.
No. Especially price increases. I feel like you guys need to know. So if you are planning on purchasing something, you can get it before the price increase. That's just how I feel. Real quick, will we ever carry the inexpensive Pilot Petite 1 and their special ink cartridges? Unfortunately, not yet, because they're not imported into the U.S. by the U.S. distributor. The other retailer, Jet Pens, who carries them, they buy directly from Japan. They don't go through the U.S. distributor. So that's why they have them and we don't.
Same with the 78G. We get asked about that a lot.
They're not imported to the U.S., so our hands are literally tied. We don't know anyone in Japan to sneak us the stuff, so.
Yeah, still working on that, but we're a little tied up with the little ones to be going out and sourcing crazy stuff right now.
We also don't speak Japanese or...
Yeah.
I don't know how we would just like find a contact.
I don't know.
The Sailor hiatus is same with that, and the Sailor candy pens. There's a lot of stuff that they have that they buy directly that they don't go through the U.S. distributors. Yeah. Can you order a gold nib for the Lamy Studio from us? Unfortunately, and I've asked Lamy about this several times, gold nibs are only available separately through Lamy USA. So you go to lamyusa.com.
Even if we wanted to buy gold nibs, we would pay what you pay. I think it's $65 through Lamy USA.
Oh yeah,
for a Lamy gold nib. That's what we would pay. So obviously,
we would either be selling them way more.
Obviously, it wouldn't be advantageous for us to carry them because we would have to mark them up, and it would be just more expensive, and it wouldn't make any sense. The price of gold as it is right now, there's just no room for a retailer markup on gold nibs.
So, lamyusa.com.
And in fact, we get asked this a lot, actually. And in fact, if you look at the price of, the pens, like there's some studios that are steel nibs and some that are gold, or like some, the accents are steel nibs and some are gold nib.
Yeah.
If you look at the price differences between the pens with the steel and gold, you'll find it's $65 because of that gold nib.
No.
I mean, unless it's like a platinum, pen or whatever.
They're a lot more now.
Really? Did they go up?
It's like over $100 difference.
Really? Well, okay, there you go. Well, the price of gold is insane, so there you go. It used to be $65. Okay, so
anyway,
don't listen to me. Listen to her. She knows all this stuff.
Pilot. I want to get back to Pilot. So we mentioned Custom 74 in orange, an orange demonstrator. That was supposed to come early March. It's now supposed to be released April 1st. So look for that beginning of April. And they said that's going to be the last color in that series. So the Custom 74 line will just be the clear, smoke, the blue, violet, and now the orange. So 5 Custom 74 colors. Vanishing Point, now going to have extra fine nibs beginning in May.
That's big.
Yeah, so they're going to come on some of the pens or as separate nib units. I don't know yet whether it's just going to be like just the gold or the rhodium plated or both.
Yeah.
I need to ask and find out. I just got this information, but extra fine vanishing points. So big news there. Someone had just asked me about it last week, and I was like, I haven't heard anything about that. That's news to me, and now I know. Will it work in decimos? I don't know. This just says it's for the vanishing point. So I don't know. And this is my news through the U.S. distributor who doesn't carry the Decimo, so that's, don't know there at all.
Yeah.
Someone else
I suspect it will. I think it's the same nibs in the Decimos as the Vanishing Points. I believe so.
I thought they're shorter. I thought the pen is shorter.
Yeah. But I believe it's the same nib unit on the inside.
Can we get limited edition Sailor inks? There aren't any right now. There were some seasonal inks. I think the last one they made was spring of last year.
Yeah. No, that was spring of 2 years ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because we've been carrying Sailor for a while now.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, yeah, because the new inks we got came out last spring. And they thought they were going to be seasonal, but they're permanent.
No, it was like 2 years ago.
So there are no new seasonal Sailor inks. We carry the full line of all the Sailor inks. If there are any new ones, we'll definitely do it. So yeah, Epinard is definitely part of the line. Everything we have is a permanent part of the line. They're not seasonal at all.
Right.
At least we haven't been told that they are. So yeah, part of the regular line, not permanent ink. Part of the regular line.
Yeah, you gotta be careful when throwing around that word around ink.
Okay, real quick. Back to the vanishing points. They are going to undergo a price increase April 1st. It's not that bad. Raiden isn't going up at all, so that's good there. The vanishing points are, I believe, 166 lists. They're going to 175. So price...
That's not bad considering some of the price increases we saw for other pens.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like the double Schaefer increase, but...
Yeah.
So our price, we do 20% off, so it'll go 130 to 80. It'll go up to 140. So the same price as the black mat. So there's all the vanishing points will be 140. Nib units list price is going up to $75.70, so you'll be able to find it for around $60. It's going up like $4. Not too bad, but that's the difference between getting like an extra bottle of ink or not. Not a Roshizuku, but some of the cheaper inks.
Yeah.
Can you comment on the pigmented Sailor in an Ahab pen? It should work.
Use at your own risk.
I don't know why I wouldn't.
Generally speaking, I mean, the Sailor, Kiwaguro, and the Seiboku, those are what are called the nano inks. They're kind of in the same league as the Platinum Carbon Black and the Pigmented Blue. They're pigmented inks instead of purely dye-based inks.
But they're still fountain pen inks.
They're still fountain pen inks,
made to go through feeds
really they're made for brush pens. Ideally, you can use them in fountain pens, but it's definitely going to be higher maintenance than regular pens, than regular dye-based inks. So you're gonna have to clean them out of your pen probably every week at the most. So you have to keep that ink flowing through there. You do not want to let it dry up because those pigments will, if they dry up in your pen, they'll attach themselves to the feed and be a devil to clean out. The nice thing about it is it works really well on watercolor paper and more ink-resistant paper because the pigments kind of dry on the surface of the the surface of the paper. As far as whether it'll work in an Ahab, you just got to try it out if you have it. Generally speaking, I've heard mixed things about that ink in the Ahabs. So
as far as Pilot goes, the vanishing points are the only thing increasing in price. So Oroshizuku is the same, the Namiki Falcon, Custom 74, Custom 823, Metal Falcon, everything like that. All of those are the same, so they are not going up in price, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I did not know you could get Falcon nibs or Metal Falcon nibs or Custom 74 nibs. They're not cheap, but if you ever find yourself in need of a replacement nib, I just saw it on a price list.
Interesting.
Did not know that. That's kind of cool.
Okay. I wonder if it's just the nib or if it's like a unit or with a feed or what.
I don't know.
It's probably just the
I'll
nib.
have to find out. It's pretty pricey.
Yeah, it is.
So, anyway, let's see.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think there's any questions in there.
Did we hit all our topics? Because we're kind of in like bonus.
March
Super
ink drop
overtime.
colors.
Oh gosh, we really make a lot of time for this.
Cleaning.
Spring
Today's the last day to sign up. You have 2 hours left.
Yeah, but
Or if you sign late and you let us know you want it, then we'll do that.
I don't know how many people are scrambling for this month's colors. Spring cleaning, it was an idea that we had from a lot of you in Right Time here that kind of supported it of doing like a worst of the worst kind of ink colors.
Now granted, these aren't the worst.
We didn't do the worst.
I pulled like the bottom 30.
We didn't do the worst of the worst because if we did the worst of the worst, it would really be an awful selection. Because we carry a lot of different inks and some of them are just frankly just disgusting. But we kind of picked the best of the worst. And, it's kind of interesting to see what some people like, Noodler's Summer Tanager was one of the colors. It tends to feather a lot, which is why people don't like it. But actually, a bunch of the people that do watercolor washing have found that the ink washes really nicely. So it's like, it was kind of a hit in that respect for the watercolor people, which is totally something I didn't expect, but it was interesting. But in addition to those inks, we included the JB's Pen Flush, which a lot of you have probably been eager to try. And we figured it'd be kind of cute and funny to include that with the junky inks that you may not like.
We're actually considering making samples regularly available.
of the flush.
Like super samplers, not
Yeah,
2 ml,
we
like
have
a full vial full.
Yeah, we have toyed with the idea of doing super samplers of JB's flush. You know, if you guys think it would be worthwhile, I mean, a 4-ounce bottle of flush is $7, which is not a huge investment. You know, if you are interested in doing it, and you know, pretty much if you have a pen, you know, if you have a fountain pen or many fountain pens, having flush is never a bad idea. If you don't have your own flush concoction already anyway.
It works really well.
But it does.
We use
I mean,
it.
we use a lot of it at the shop, so it's a handy thing to have. But if you are interested in just kind of trying it and you're interested in samplers,
It's
let us know.
It's really convenient rather than having to make up your own. I mean, you can make your own flush, your own, you know, ratios.
I mean, it's definitely not as cost effective as making up your own.
No, but how much do you really need?
Well, it's the kind of thing
know?
like, you know, if you want to use like, you know, ammonia and detergents and stuff like that, you know, you got to buy, if you don't already have
ammonia is like giant.
you got to buy like, you know, a whole big jug of it, you know,
Well, it's like,
and it may not be
and
worth
if you
it to
don't
you.
change out your colors all that often, or, you know, I think it's really convenient.
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't need it. You can make your own, but...
Can we compare JB's to Fred's Secret Sauce? I've never heard of that.
it.
So no, I can't compare it. I've never heard of
How
Fred's.
dark does the flush have to be before you should get a new bottle? I guess until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I talked to Jim. Jim Bear is the guy that created this stuff. That's the JB, Jim Bear. And he says if you hold the bottle up to the light and you can't see through it anymore, it's probably time to replace it. But really, you can just kind of keep using it until you're you know, not comfortable. If it's, you know. One thing you can do to kind of extend the life of it is if you have a big bottle of it and you have like a small vial, you can put some flush in the vial, use that flush in the vial over and over again until that's kind of junky. Then you can dump that, and then you can decant more from the bottle into your little vial, and you can extend the life that way.
Yeah, basically like just take out part, you know, so you're not dumping into the whole thing.
Yeah, you're not dumping into the whole thing like that. There's a lot of people that use their bottles of ink like that too. If you don't want to, you know, contaminate your ink, because it's kind of sort of like if you drink a soda, like the more sips you take from it, the more it gets diluted with backwash kind of thing. So it's same with a bottle of ink or flush or anything like that.
People don't realize that, like your hand oils, like get on the paper, you know, they get on the pen, they get on the nib, they're on the paper.
Oh yeah.
You know, so when you're dipping your pen back into the ink, like, you know, I know no one like thinks they're contaminating it, but really you are.
Oh, you are. Oh, definitely you are. Yeah.
So.
No, it's actually amazing if you, you know, I've got like a decent macro lens on my camera, and I've got, you know, loops and stuff that I look at, pen nibs and things. You would actually be pretty amazed if you have a magnifying lens and you write on a paper with your nib and then you pick it up and look at it through a loop. You'd be amazed at the junk that gets on that nib just from normal writing on the paper, because as the metal nib, you know, writes on the paper, it creates static electricity, which attracts dust to it. That's why even if you're using the same ink consistently, that's why you want to flush your pen and clean it regularly, because that junk will just get in there, and you know, the dust will kind of get in the feed and create like a slurry inside your feed, and you know, it's really kind of gross if you think about it. But you know, good pen hygiene is recommended no matter what ink you're using and no matter how consistently you use it. So
March,
anyway.
yeah, so we did the flush. Did you list the 5 colors?
I never did a blog post on it. I took, you know, last week was just insane between, you know, everything we had going on personally, and
had some employees,
you know,
taking vacation time and stuff.
Yeah,
so
we had one key person that was gone last week, and I had to do a lot of backfilling for them, and so I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off last week.
The blog's been light, and that's, you know, something we're going to talk about a little bit.
Yeah. You're asking what kind of camera I have? I have a Canon T2i, and I have the 100mm macro lens. That's what I like to use. I mean, I got other lenses, but that's
the new Canon on the way.
Yes, and I got a 5D Mark III on the way. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So, so if you still want the March ink drop, you can still sign up. Technically, today's deadline. If you want to sign up late and you still want this month's colors, that's fine. Just let us know. Otherwise, you know, we start you with the next month. So I think that was all of the topics we had. We are getting another shipment in tomorrow. The 4.5 ounce are still pretty out of stock. I'm really sorry about that. Nathan just, you know, he's backlogged or waiting on something. I'm not quite sure what the issue is, but
yeah.
We are restocking a couple other colors, as well as the Kanazawa Leaf Maki pens. Oh, and I saw someone asked a while ago, does it come in extra fine? It just comes in fine and medium for right now. But we're restocking those. We had just a couple. We were actually the first in the country to carry them. We didn't even realize it at the time. And then we sold out.
We just happen to have really good timing.
We're like, nobody has them.
Yeah.
So now some more coming in. Yeah, the 4.5 ounce Bay State Blue is still not coming in. So
I know. Yeah, the issue is a one man shop trying to do it all himself.
I'm not sure whether it's an ink issue. I'm not sure whether it's like a free pen issue. Some 4.5 ounce are coming in, but not everything. So
yeah, it's
what can you
tough.
do?
Yeah, we fight for it, but if he's not making it, we can't get it. Yeah.
So I think that's it. So if you guys have any questions, I asked about like an iPad app or an Android app. What would you want to see in an app? Like we're thinking about like Swap Shop, Nibnook type stuff. Like what would you guys want to see if we ever developed an app? Because that would be so cool to do. But I don't know what it would be.
I mean, we're not developers, so
no, we'd have someone do. But
if we were going
I don't know what it would be.
if we were going to approach somebody about doing an app, we'd have to have something pretty distinct in mind of what we'd like to accomplish with it.
Does Bay State Concord grape stain like Bay State Blue? I don't think it's that bad.
Not as bad, but it does stain. You want everything in an app.
Our website.
We do have a mobile store.
Yeah, but the Swap Shop and all that are not on the mobile version.
Right.
Maybe that's what we should just do. Is just put the Swap Shop in the somehow.
I'll be honest with you. The biggest.
I don't even know how.
The biggest problem with doing, and I've kind of looked into it. The biggest problem with doing the Swap Shop or the Nibnook wouldn't be as much a problem, but doing a Swap Shop on a mobile app is that each app service uses a different color profiling system. So it would look different on an iPhone versus an Android whatever, versus a Samsung whatever. So, we would have to basically redo all of the swabs with different color profiles for each of those apps, and I'll be honest with you, I just can't do that right now.
Well, you guys are talking about our mobile store. A lot of people do use it, but I agree. So it's kind of weak. I agree. It is limited. There are a lot of features on our site that are not available on our mobile store just because of the limitations of our web host and converting all that content. So we don't have the Fountain of Knowledge. We don't have the Nibnook. We don't have the Swap Shop. Even cool things like I've done recently with our navigation, which, as you remember, our last write time we changed it, then we changed it back, but I've since added some features. So the ability to filter down your search, so you can go to shop all ink and look for blue inks, and I'm starting to work on properties. Right now I only have noodlers, but you want a bulletproof, blue black, then it'll filter and show you all the results. You can go to all the ink samples and say I want to see greens, and I'll show you all the greens. So those are really cool things, but they're not available on the mobile store.
Yeah.
So little things like that. I don't think our new product shows up. There's just some weird restrictions.
I mean, keep in mind we're not just a mom and pop operation. We've got 6 other employees, but that's pretty much just to keep things flowing every day. I mean, when you're talking about developing apps and stuff like that, you're talking about either we got to have a full-time programmer on staff, or we have to outsource that, which might cost us, $20,000 to $40,000 worth of programming costs. So it's it's really got to be a benefit to.
Yeah. So what happens if you look at the Swap Shop through the Safari browser on the iPad? So if you're looking at full view, I mean, it'll work. How color accurate it is, I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
Actually, my mom's visiting tomorrow. She has an iPad. We should look.
I mean, we got iPhones. We could. That's kind of curious, actually. I'm interested to.
That'll take you forever to get to it now.
No, I'm curious. I can navigate there pretty quick.
You have to switch to the full view. Oh, you're in full view. Oh, that reminds me. Look for big changes on our website. Probably, I'd say by April. Navigation should be pretty much the same. I mean, I'm still working on enhancements, but it's gonna have a nice little new look. I'm really excited about it. Finally getting some professional help there.
I mean, I've got the. If you go through the actual browser on the phone, you can cruise the Swap Shop and everything. It's a little small, but it's there.
Couple questions.
The colors look pretty good.
Said, Brian, I thought you were a Nikon man. The macro lens you posted was a Nikon, right? He was,
yes.
And then he switched.
Yes, I switched for various reasons, but
my sister bought the macro lens. It went to a good home, And
Yes.
Drew, he bought the camera.
I had
So
problems.
it all went to a good home.
I have problems with Nikon's firmware and tethering to some programs that I like to use. So I ended up switching to Canon for that reason.
I'm going back through the comments. Your site in general is one of the easiest to navigate. Or worse, I always seem to find a ton of things I have to have when I go looking for one thing. That's like us in Target. It's like always happens. You go in for one thing and you come out with a whole cart. Anytime I go to the grocery store and I get like a little basket thinking I only need a couple things, that's when I end up like, that I might as well just get a cart every time.
Will you ever carry ink removal chemicals?
Wait.
Oh,
There's a question about that. Have you ever reconsidered getting Mont Blanc inks? The bottles are really cool and the Midnight Blue performs really well. Nope, Mont Blanc does not sell to online retailers. They require you to have a physical store. So until they change a lot of their policies, we won't have Mont Blanc. So sorry about that.
We get asked that a lot, but...
Will we ever carry ink removal chemicals, things like ink nicks, etc.? We got a sample of Amedex, and we're actually set up to sell it if we want to.
I actually contacted Ink Nicks a while ago, and they never got back to me.
But Amedex, we're already set up through our distributor, one of our sales reps to sell.
I need you to contact Ink Nicks, because you have a magic touch.
But yeah, we just haven't acted on it, but it's definitely on our radar.
Yeah.
So, maybe
once
we're done moving, maybe we'll look into that.
Well, honestly, a lot of times when it comes to bringing in new stuff, you need to pester us like a lot. Like we need a lot of people to pester us for certain things because we get random requests all the time, and it's like, oh, I've never really heard of that. Well, we'll look into it, but if there's not like an overwhelming demand, we tend to go for the things that are, we have more people asking for at a time. So if a lot of people are asking about Ink Nicks or Amedex or something like that, then we're more incentivized to kind of take the time out of our limited day and go bring that in. But we've had requests for Ink Nicks and stuff like that. Like every couple of months, we'll get somebody to ask us about it. So it's like it's never enough on our radar to really take time out of our day to go for it. We're focusing on so many other things. But.
So maybe once we get through the move and get settled and start looking at, expanding some more, we'll definitely look at that.
Yeah.
I want to kind of wrap up because Ellie's waking up and
it's 10:30. We've been going for an hour and a half.
She's probably getting hungry again here, so.
Yeah, and I'm getting warm. This computer, everything's really warm.
Yes, charger, man.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Any last minute questions before we take our 1 month-ish hiatus? You can always email us.
We're still gonna be around. I'm still gonna be posting blogs. We're still gonna be updating the website and everything. So
we'll do our best to blog. It probably won't be as regularly as we'd like, but.
I'm gonna try.
Got a lot of new products coming in, and all requires pictures and Nipnook updates and measurements and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Don't want to be loaded down with stuff you can't sell, like Pontiac and its Aztecs. Hey, Aztecs are a killer deal. I would buy a second one. We might buy a second one. Maybe a minivan. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll probably not get a minivan.
Yeah, probably.
The newest Aztec is like, what?
2006?
6 years old now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, we really appreciate you guys joining us and supporting us and all that stuff. It's
my gosh, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, we really enjoy doing the Right Time broadcast, which is why it kind of kills us to take this hiatus. But at the same time, it's like we only want to do it if we can do it well and be fresh and be excited about it. If it starts to really become a chore, then we don't really want to. We don't want to.
Yeah, there's some
come in
weeks
it
where
half-cocked.
Yeah, we're like, I don't know what we're gonna talk about tonight. It's like, I want to have.
Well, honestly, sometimes, we in order to really talk about good stuff, we need a little time to prepare. And if we haven't had like any time to prepare, and Ellie's really upset, and Rachel's feeling sick, and all these perfect storm of stuff.
We're people. We're running a business, but we're people. We have a family. We have a personal life, and
Do we have a personal life?
Well, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, we're people who have feelings and have ambitions and have families and have a house to clean and chores to do, just like,
Yeah.
So it's like everybody wants everything from, we gotta, we want to provide everything too, but we gotta take care of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You said we could talk about paint peeling and it would be fun.
Oh, thank you.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're gonna. Don't think that we're gonna like hibernate for the next month. It's just right time that we're cutting out for the next month, and it's mainly logistics of Ellie's crying in the other room right now.
Yeah,
but
she's
getting hungry again. But we're gonna be working on a lot of other projects at the same time, and you're going to continue to see lots of great stuff from us. So don't worry about that at all. And when we do come back, we're going to be excited about it and have
we
a
got
lot of
ideas
stuff to talk
planned
about.
for the whole year. We got lots of stuff.
We have more. I mean, yeah, we have more ideas.
Bear with me. I still have a lot of swap shop updates to do. We keep getting so many new colors. I have to keep going back in
and I'm actually in the middle of redoing a bunch of our older swabs because if you'll notice, some of the older swabs aren't as high resolution as the newer ones. Some of the backgrounds are not perfectly white.
They say blue is not as vibrant blue as it should be. It's appearing more purple.
Yeah, actually, a
than
lot of the Noodlers and some of the Diamine and some of the Private Reserve are not as high resolution as they should be. So we'll be updating a lot of those, which is hard to get motivated to do when they're already up there and nobody's really complained. Nobody's really complained about the lower resolution of some of the swabs, but it's the kind of thing that I notice and really bugs me, and I know it's not as good as I could make it, so we'll be doing that. But anyway, yes. So the swab shop will continue to grow. We're going to continue carrying in cool stuff. Oh, Ellie. Okay, so we're gonna go take care of Ellie. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you back soon enough. In the meantime, Fountain Pen Geeks has their podcast, their little radio broadcasting that they're doing, which is really cool. I definitely recommend checking them out in the meantime. We might be hanging out there, just in the chat every now and then, and but we'll be taking some time and we'll come back with some good stuff.
Say goodbye.
So yeah, we can bring Ellie in here. Oh, baby girl. Here's Ellie. She's the one causing a fuss. Hey. Okay, anyway, we got to tend to her. Thanks, everybody. We will see you later. And, shoot us an email or if you miss us or, anything like that.
Send us a letter. Well, we'll have to update our address, but it's in the same building, so I'm sure we'll get the mail if it doesn't go properly.
We'll have the same mail guy.
Ellie's going to look a lot different in a month.
Yeah. She's got bed head. Yeah, she does. She's got crib head. All right, bye, everybody. Thanks for a great broadcast. We really enjoyed it.